Emmy Lane.
And we're from Neon Trees. Thank you for watching the broadcast.
Well, when it comes to creating catchy songs like Everybody's Talking and Sleeping with a Friend, Neon Trees definitely has that it factor. It has been a whirlwind of success for the band from Utah and California, and recently Amy had the chance to find out how they're balancing this continued fame. Take a look at this.
Well, thank you both for joining us, and it's great to meet you. Tell me and tell everybody a little bit about how the band was formed and where.
The band began in California with me and our guitar player Chris, and then he moved to Utah.
Who was a neighbor, right?
Yeah, he was my neighbor. And I just liked the way he played, and he moved to Utah to go to school, so I just decided to follow him. And we met the rest of the band and other bands and formed the big Provo band, kind of the super group.
Right.
So
And began touring.
So you basically kind of all formed in Utah together.
Yeah, definitely. We owe the Provo music scene for our genesis.
Yeah, for those are your home people, your support peeps. Okay, where did the name Neon Trees come from?
I was in high school and immature and really liked 80s music and thought Neon Palm Trees would be a good band name because we would hang out at this burger place called In-N-Out, and I guess you guys have them now.
We do now, yeah, and it's quite popular.
Yeah, but they were mostly a West Coast joint, and these ones had neon palm tree lights, and we just got that name, and now it's very silly to talk about it, but it works for the band.
And it stuck.
Yeah.
So I always love to ask because people find the most random ways to name their bands.
Yeah.
So it's always just to me an
I
intriguing.
think people thought it was more drug related,
Yeah.
and we're all very clean.
drug
so-
related.
Yeah. Well, Neon Trees is like a name
Sounds
for
like
marijuana.
Oh,
or
see,
something.
I'm sorry. I'm kind of
We're
dumb.
sorry too. We're also not in that culture.
I'm so not not in that culture. We'll
No.
talk about that later. Okay, I'm really curious about what some of your early struggles were as you were lifting off the ground and getting yourselves going. What were some of your really tough struggles?
I think it's pretty typical of any true rock band that like gets together and forms from the ground
Right.
up. Isn't like, there's no tryouts or anything like that.
Yeah.
We just got together, and I think the thing we got together over was mutual shared talent, but also this desire to do whatever it takes to be able to play music for a living. And out of that desire springs forth many sacrifices.
Yes.
And you're willing to do them, and so we all were willing to do them, but I think financial sacrifice was early, and
I think sanity.
so yeah, we've definitely sacrificed. We've all been through periods of just like pure disliking each other.
Really?
Yeah, every one of us
Yeah.
has at least once in our existence not liked every one of the other ones. But it goes into shifts,
Right.
so it's all good. It remains
So it's
balanced.
just like family.
No, it really is.
It's truly
It's
like
and
totally like
it's
family.
like siblings more than it is like a
Exactly.
marriage, because you can't get divorced from your siblings.
Right.
So
You're
that's kind of
stuck
how it
with
is. We're super stuck with each other, for better and for worse.
how much of your spiritual lives influence your music?
Oh, I think it goes hand in hand. My particular struggle has always been like between faith and between like who I am and finding that identity, and so I think it's always sort of seeped into that. But we're not like necessarily a Mormon band, and I don't think everything that I say lyrically can go in line with what
Right.
people would typically think of Mormonism. But I think the refreshing part of that is that we're honest
Yes.
about our faith, but we're also honest about who we are as people and just like figuring it out. So.
Exactly, and I think it's good that we're representative kind of like a wide cross section of people with Mormon backgrounds.
Maybe like
Yeah.
maybe
You know what I
like
mean? We're all
Mormons
very
that don't
different.
have
Yes.
particular voices. I don't want to say we're their voice, but
No,
I
but
just
it would be ignorant to think that it had no bearing on what we do, but it also would be kind of dangerous to think that it had everything to do with what we do, because
course.
this is our job,
Right.
and we don't like come to work and, you know what I mean? Like, you can't separate your faith from what you do, but
No.
you definitely can separate what you do from a preaching platform, and I think that's from the
Exactly.
very beginning. We always said, we don't want to judge each other for where we are on the spiritual ladder.
Exactly.
We don't want that to be an issue. And I mean, if our minds change, we don't want that to be some splintering thing. So let's live how we want to live and be supportive of each other.
and
right.
it's amazing
True
to
to
see.
ourselves.
That's right.
It's amazing to see who comes to our shows. So many different walks of life.
That's
so
right.
It's fun.
All right, last question. Anyone that's watching right now that aspires to get into music and do something great with their lives and make an impact on the world with music, what would your advice be?
Oh man, I think just work really hard. There's a song on our new record, Popsicology, that is called First Things First, and the chorus is, you're never gonna get everything you want in this world. First things first, get what you deserve. And I think that just like speaks volumes as far as like, if you work really hard, you might not get like the mansion or the private island or all that, but you're probably gonna get a really like substantial life and like
the
passionate
feeling,
life.
The feeling that comes from working your hardest and doing your best and going after something, you cannot fake that feeling in any other way other than like going for it. And so like for anybody aspiring to do anything, music or not, if you don't put it on the line and really go for it, you really don't have that like feeling of, well, hey, at least I can say I did it.
That's
you always
right.
have that in the back of your mind, like, well, I didn't really try, and
Right.
I don't feel like that's a good way to live.
Yeah.
Well, Tyler, Elaine, thank you both so much. It's wonderful to
Thanks.
sit down with you today.
Yeah.
Well, coming up next, we are going to catch up with the husband and wife team from My Fix It Up Life TV series. Mark and Teresa Clement talk about great projects you can do for Dad this Father's Day. Stay with us.